Well, hey gang, welcome to the Alpha stream. And for those of you who don't know, today is the second anniversary of the show. Unfortunately, nobody else is really around tonight, so what I'm doing on my own, but it's the debut of a new series we're going to be doing here called Trivial Matters. Now, I'm a gigantic trivia buff, and I've had a few examples of that over the 2 years that I enjoy this kind of game. So now I'm going to make a series of it, and I'm going to display what some of the trivia games of the DOS days had in store for those who played. I figured out a way to get this first series of games to show exactly the kinds of questions, or rather the sets of questions that I want to show, which allows me to show all of the questions that existed for those games. An example of that, Jeopardy Junior Edition, which was my 4th episode from 2 years ago, has 25 different question files, and they're all full rounds, 2 boards and a final. And I was trying to figure out how to display all of them, and I figured out a way to do it by shuffling files around. So now I'm going to show them for all those who don't want to play around with those files. And if you want to play along, hey, feel free. Here we go. I'm not a returning champion. So for those of you who don't know how to play, it's an answer and question game. And it looks a little something like this. We'll start with our 6 categories, which are famous persons, plants, Christmas traditions, furniture, family tree, and U.S. presidents. Clues ranging in difficulty and value from 100 down to 500, and there's a daily double somewhere among these clues. Find that, and I can double any or all of what I've won up to that point in the round. Basically, it's a risk however much you want. Now, if a computer in this version finds what would be the daily double clue, it'll just play as a normal. The only one who gets to play a daily double is a human player. So, let's do this time for real. And since this is the game that I played way back when I first started the show, I'm eventually going to run into the game that I played then. I doubt I would even remember what was what. But anyway, here we go. I tend to start on the left and go down through the categories. So beginning famous persons for $100. He invented the light bulb and the record player. First, pick the right beginning to the question, and then type in your answer. Who was Thomas Edison? Get it right, you earn the value. Get it wrong, you lose the value. Now, in the original versions of the DOS games, or the adult versions, I guess we'll say, you had 7 seconds to ring in and 30 seconds to complete your question. In this version, you've got 12 to ring in and 45 to answer. Now what I'm doing is I'm pausing for the benefit of making it like the show, in that the clue gets read out first and then the ringing in happens. Otherwise, it's like the first season of the show where you could ring in whatever you want, and if you were the first to do so, you would get your answer in. I believe it was at the start of the 2nd season that they instituted the can't ring in until it's read. But for playability, and especially for television, kind of like I'm doing now, works better like this. This famous Olympic athlete was the first woman to appear on a cereal box. I'll take a stab, although I don't know for sure. Who is Billie Jean King? Famous tennis player, for those of you who don't know. So now that I've gotten it wrong, the other players have a chance to try. No takers. Mary Lou Retton. So, last player to get a correct question retains control of the board. This 16th century monarch had 6 wives. Who was Henry VIII? Did he have more than that? Or is this the case of a menopausal parser? Menopausal parser. It was Henry VIII, but it did not recognize the Roman numeral text. Unfortunately, that's what happens. Now, what I used to do was I used to play these to convert them into PowerPoints to be used out in the community for events and such. That did 2 things. One, it eliminated the need for my eyes to go through the buzzer system. And second, it eliminated the need to parse text that might not be quite in line with the expected, but yeah. So, unfortunate victim of technological limitations here, but it was Henry VIII. Oh well, it happens. This Polish freedom fighter became leader of the largest Christian denomination. Ah. If you see the question starting to get filled in by a computer, they have it right. John Paul II. Well, they don't stick to the same convention I do. Plants for 500. Mushrooms belong to this specific plant classification. What is fungi? Wonder if it would have accepted fungus. Now, if plants for 500 was the daily double clue, it's now out of play for the round. Let's finish famous persons for 5. She initiated the civil rights movement of the 1950s when she refused to give up her seat on a bus. Who is Rosa Parks? Alright, plants for 1. The underground part of the plant that supports and holds it in the soil. What are the roots? The hard exterior covering found on trees. What is the bark? Plants grow in this direction when exposed to light. Feels like a trick. And that's how you know they don't have it right, as it doesn't fill in. Can't ring in a second time. The 12-second timer gets reset. You missed it too. Well, now it's down to me. And I do not have any intention of ringing in. Unfortunately, there's no surrender key. Toward the light. Let's finish plants. The green matter found in plants, which produces food. Again, I am pausing to get the clue read. What is chlorophyll? Not to be confused with chloroform, folks. Alright, Christmas traditions. The jolly old man who flies through the air in a sleigh, pulled by his reindeer. Who is Santa Claus? Santa Claus. Yeah, that's right. Santa Claus, Saint Nick, Kris Kringle, Father Christmas. Depends on the part of the world and the faith you're in. If you stand under this, you may get kissed. What is mistletoe? A popular bird which is usually stuffed for Christmas dinner. What is a turkey? A traditional Christmas beverage made of eggs, milk, sugar, and sometimes liquor. What is eggnog? People who walk from house to house singing holiday songs. What are carolers? Halfway through, have not found it yet. A baby sits in this during mealtime. What is a high chair? I wonder if it parses by percentage match. The more common name for a hassock or ottoman. What is a recliner? Ottoman. I gotta think. It's not a stool. Or a footrest? Maybe it's footrest. Well, it'll be another few seconds before we know. Footstool. I wonder if the wording would have been a problem. Sticking to it. This upholstered armchair is sometimes called a lazy boy. Maybe that's it. What is a recliner? There we go. Now's the time for that. This sleeping surface contains H2O. What is a waterbed? There's the daily double. Minimum wager is $5. Maximum wager is as much as you've got, or $500, which is the maximum value of a clue, whichever is greater. I will wager everything. True daily double. A video cassette recorder is commonly referred to by these letters. Gee, I don't know. What is VCR? Only the acronym for the damn thing. 2 categories left. Family tree for 100. A yearly celebration of the day you were born. What is a birthday? Your father's father. Who is grandfather? Grandpa, pop-up. A lot of different ways to call that. The joining together legally and socially of a man and woman as husband and wife. What is a marriage? People of earlier generations from whom you are descended. What are ancestors? The study which traces a family back through many generations. What is genealogy? Minor misspell, but that didn't hurt me. One category left. After JFK was shot, he became the 36th president. Who was Lyndon Johnson? LBJ. Also, unlike in the TV show, there is not a time limit for a round. Doesn't end until all the clues have been hit. Nicknamed Ike, this army general led the Normandy invasion and later became the 34th president. Who was FDR? Like I know my presidents. I know that's a bad thing to say, but it's history. Oh, I'm a fool. Eisenhower. And if I thought about that a little more carefully, namely Buzz Aldrin's race into space, I would have remembered that. That was stupid. But the Daily Double was found, so I can't lose it now. Though not impeached, he resigned from office during the Watergate scandal. Who is Richard Nixon? Also, because of text limitations in this game, in this technology, you don't have the luxury of a be more specific if you get close, but not close enough. This president declared war on Germany on April 6, 1917, and is famous for his 14 points. Trying to think. I don't think it was Harding. Wilson. And finally, born in 1913 as Leslie King, Jr., the first U.S. president to serve without being chosen in a national election. Who is Gerald Ford? Right, as I recall, Gerald Ford was Speaker of the House and then bumped up to Vice and then bumped up to President and then was not reelected. All right, so with the first round done, we move on to Double Jeopardy. That's going to mean the values are doubled. There are 2 daily doubles, and we have ourselves 6 new categories. Third place is going to go first, so I'm going to, since I'm not in third place, I'm going to make a pause so I can read out the categories. And they are Mother Goose, Library, Cartoons, Fertile Crescent. I'm going to have to get another read on that once we go to a clue. Calendar and Mothers. And Glenn is in third and we'll go first, so here we go. Starting with Calendar for 8. To enable farmers to extend their working hours, this time system was released. This time system was established in the United States. and there have been movements to have it revoked. What is daylight savings time? Which incidentally is coming up here in my country in a few weeks. Let's go back to the left side and do Mother Goose. This frightened Miss Muffet. What is a spoder? This animal laughed and hey diddle diddle. What is a little dog? The little dog laughed to see such sport. In this nursery rhyme, the children were given broth without any bread by her. Who is the old woman in the shoe? The little girls did this when Georgie Porgy kissed them. I don't remember this one. My gut's telling me fainted, but I'm not sure enough to try it. Cried. Okay. This city in Egypt was home to the world's most famous ancient library. I'm going to take a stab at the obvious here and say what was Cairo. Alexandria. This should get me back in the saddle. Archie's school. Then again, maybe not. I'm sure some enthusiast out there is screaming at the screen. Riverdale High. This system of classifying books is still used, even though it's over 100 years old. What is Dewey Decimal? Excuse me. All right. The Mother Goose character that fell from a wall and couldn't be put back together again. Who was Humpty Dumpty. Humpty Dumpty took a big shit. Humpty Dumpty to the ground he hit. Encyclopedias and dictionaries are this kind of book. What is reference? There's one daily double. True daily double. 11,600. With over 77 million publications in its collection, this Washington, D.C. building is the largest of its kind. What is the Library of Congress? Many libraries now use this to replace card catalogs. They probably use computerized systems now, but back then, 1989? Microfilm. Okay. It's been 30 years. Microfilm is outdated, no doubt. February has 29 days in this year. I'm sure they mean this type of year. What is leap year? That's another pro to making these PowerPoints is to alleviate any confusion of wording. There's the other daily double. Very rare do you find it at the top of the category like that. It's usually in the second clue or lower. Anyway, true daily double, 23,400. Personality who says, "You wascally wabbit," who is Elmer Fudd. Nice when you can double up on all three daily doubles. Fievel is this kind of cartoon animal. What is a mouse? An American Tail, one of my favorite films ever. And I'm not really a film guy. The squirrel who plays with Bullwinkle. And one of my favorite shows. Who is Rocky? Rocky J. Squirrel. Now in the show today, by the way, regarding the dollar values, they're actually double from how they're shown here. First round is 200 to 1,000. Second round is now 400 up to 2,000. With everything else the same. Gargamel's cat. It's not Heathcliff. Azrael. I was going to say, I know Heathcliff's owner didn't have such a strange name. Now, what's this category I want to see? The Fertile Crescent. Alright. This was probably the first animal that man learned to domesticate. What is a cat? Is it the other one? Yep. Called for heads, landed on tails. The early people in the Fertile Crescent replaced hunting and gathering with this activity. Would it be fishing? Farming. Fertile soil, I guess. I will be the first to admit I wasn't sure what that category was about at first glance. This day is the 7th or last day of the week. That depends on your point of view, really. But from the calendar view, what is Saturday? Folks of my belief system tout Sunday as the 7th day. But that's another story for another time. Fertile Crescent for 2. Of the Far or Middle East, the Fertile Crescent is located here. I'll take my stab. What is the Middle East? Okay, so it's a place. Or a region of the world, more specifically. Now part of Iraq. This ancient country was located between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. Saudi Arabia is still around, right? I think. Mesopotamia. This Fertile Crescent city, located north of the Dead Sea, is the oldest city to date. I am not of enough certainty to try this. Jericho. Most months have this number of days. What is 31? 7 months out of the year have this many. 4 of them have 30, and then February is the special 28-29 case. The name of the calendar used in the Western world. What is the Gregorian? And one last category. She is the author of a famous nursery rhyme collection. And interestingly enough, one of the categories this round was about her, who is Mother Goose. This woman's cupboard was bare. Who was Old Mother Hubbard? This artist is famous for a painting of his mother. James Whistler. A woman from India known for feeding and helping the poor and sick of the world. I'll try it, but I never knew this if it's right. Who's Mother Teresa? Never knew she was Indian. Okay, let's end this. She founded Mother's Day. Whoever it was certainly deserves the praise. All you moms out there, my own included, love you guys. Anna Jarvis. And now Final Jeopardy. The bets are concealed, and so are the answers. But the computer players don't play this either. It is all up to me. And I should have held the screen to remember what exactly was done, but that's okay. I do not need to know. Because I'm going to do the same thing no matter what. You can wager nothing in this round, because again, the wagers are concealed. And then you can wager everything, which I'm going to do. $51,000. Either I win this with a 6-figure total, or I don't win this at all. Here we go. The 2 most famous ships submerged in the Atlantic. What are the Constitution and Titanic? The Titanic and the Lusitania. Damn it. The Lusitania. Oh well. That's what happens, gang. And looks like these are the 2 champions that they were asking about at the start of the show. Might try them out and see what they were all about. Actually, you know what? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to break the stream and then I'm going to come back with another show. Sit tight. Be right back.